Is anybody here? Say hi in chat if you are. Hey, Stinky. Happy. Hey, it's me. I don't know how many people are here. If we should wait a minute or two to start with the tour. So I saw you say thanks, so I'm guessing you're getting sound good. Yes, indeed. Magpie, if you see this, give us some switches that don't do. Please, no clicky switches. You've got this one. It's not clicky because, well, I mean, it's a temporary switch. It's a hold switch, but still. Yeah. I don't know if these are better, if they last longer or something. But yeah. And yeah, the lust. Let's play with this a bit while people show up. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it gets really lo-fi when you crank up the delay time. Uh-huh. Fair enough. I mean, they're meant for feet to press, but still, it could be not clicky because this one isn't. Anyway, yeah. I only have the chat open on an external window, and I don't have the actual move mouse pointer. This is what happens when you use it on your leg. Users, 5 users, 7. Okay, I'll start. Don't be shy though and ask questions. Okay, so this is the lab. This is my setup. It's all controlled by this machine here, the MPC Live. But I'm gonna try and explain that it could be anything sequencing. I'm lately, or at least for the live jams, what you see, I'm not using that many samples, maybe drum samples, but not that many because I use this drum machine a lot. But yeah, this is basically just a way over glorified MIDI sequencer with piano roll, and yeah, it's the next step after the old MPCs. As some of you might remember, I used to have an MPC 1000, older models, small little calculator screen, but still did the same thing. Lots now has. So you've got MIDI connections. You've got a USB connection, which is what I've gained from the previous MPC. So USB, because it's in and out, and I've got a hub hidden here underneath, and I've got the monologue via USB MIDI. And can you see this bit here? Yeah, bottom right screen, I've got a little, which I don't use much right now, but I've got a little Korg Nano control via USB. Hey, ma'am. So yeah, basically it's pretty much except for the monologue and this external controller, the nano control. It's all like 5-pin MIDI. But these two, the green, which is output B, goes to you can't see it because it's a bit hidden, but underneath the monologue half rack JV module, since that's multi-timbral, that's got its own MIDI output. And MIDI output A goes to, oh, you can actually see it down there, right? Yeah. There, box that I'm pointing to, that's a Kenton. Is it Kenton or Kensington? No, Kensington. Well, yeah, it's a MIDI splitter, basically, that sends the A output into the, again, bottom right, the MB33, which is a little acid box without a sequencer, just like the synth part of things. 303 synth clone. The Tans bar light down here, which is the drum machine. This is turned off. The Volca FM. And the micro granny. Let me turn on the JV. Is that it? Yeah. Well, I also have a Zoom ST244 underneath here. Right now I don't use it in the setup, but it is hooked up via MIDI. And yeah, the monologue, is that it? Yeah, in terms of external stuff, I think that's it. Granny, yeah. So all that goes into this mixer down here. Yeah, well, you see these little LEDs moving? Not LEDs. Yeah, well, this VU meter. That's an analog mixer there, except for the MPC, because the output of the mixer goes into the MPC and through an audio track that's sort of armed for recording so you can hear it. I don't actually record it. And then the MPC goes to the sound card so you can hear everything, and I hear it on the headphones. And not a regular tour. It's a grumo tour. So I'm showing you my stuff. Yeah, the MPC then goes out to the sound card. That way I can route the stuff, all the external stuff, back into the MPC so I can use the master effects. XY effects. Do the beat repeat or whatever, effect I want to put on this little touch screen. And also there's the audio tracks have a master, I can add things here like lo-fi or an amp simulator. So, but yeah, I don't do that right now. I could add a master sort of little limiter or whatever. Yeah, I guess I could do that, but yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, so this is sort of a workaround for amps. Usually the MPC would also go into the mixer. I have another mixer, which again I haven't fixed yet. It's also a USB interface, so that mixer would go into the computer directly, and I'd use the effects on that. But right now, mixer going back into the MPC, which is something I could have done on the 1000, but it didn't have any effects on the input, basically, or on the output in this case. So yeah, and then yeah, let's is there anything to see a bit closer? I can move the cams around. Back to MIDI. Let's hide this. Eat 1,000 beat repeats. Exactly. Yeah, and it also has, if you're the stuff it has, I can do on setup. It also has beat repeat, low pass filter and high pass filter and band pass filter. Just the low pass filters. Phaser. Actually, that's flanger, but whatever. Yeah. Delay. Yeah. Delay. Low pass filter delay. Band pass high pass wave folder. It's pretty cool. The tape stop. Yeah. That's a pretty cool one. The ring modulator, ring mod, granular. That's pretty much it. Yeah. In terms of like the master sort of thingy effects. I usually have it set on beat repeat, low pass filter because it's my favorite. Yeah. Back to the main menu. So yeah, and then on each track, I have a little I already have like a little pre-built project sequence thing where I have, all the tracks, each one routed to the different outputs, so I don't have to do it each time. So yeah, this one, for example, says that is on MIDI channel 4. I have independent tracks to record different elements on, but yeah, it's all going to MIDI channel 4. And then yeah, I can set what notes it triggers. In this case, the notes corresponding to the drum machine. And yeah, the Lust, for example, is on an effects send on the mixer. And this bad boy here, which you can hear, well, I don't know if you can hear the noise, but yeah, it's not the most adequate pedal, but the distortion pedal is on the 303 machine. And in terms of effects, that's pretty much it for this setup. Yeah, on the other mixer, it had more internal effects, but yeah. And yeah, so yeah, each track I should have scripted this. Each track has, it's the corresponding all the tracks for the drum machine. Then the monologue the monologue has you can't see that, but yeah, instead of being a MIDI output, I have it set to a USB MIDI for that. And yeah, the acid box. Yeah, the FM. A bit more. But yeah, just switch between tracks and I record on the fly. I kind of use it as a looper of sorts, the JV. The JV is a bit more complicated because you have to use the most significant and least significant byte thing to choose patches and whatever. But yeah, you just have to have a chart, which I have, somewhere on a thingy. The MPC, not really a DAW. It's almost there, but it can only play back 4 audio tracks. It's yeah, kind of, yeah, sort of a DAW, but not really. For me, the DAW is originally like Pro Tools or whatever. It's a recording setup, for audio recording. It can of course can have piano roll and MIDI and whatever. But yeah, I don't consider it a DAW, but it's sort of there. Yeah. Yeah, the rig can be operated by skeletons, but only on Halloween, 3 or 4 days before and after. Although the bat is still here and I'm still hitting it with my head. No, the MPC doesn't need a computer. This one doesn't. It works as a controller for the MPC software, which is basically the same that's built in here, but with more audio tracks and the possibility of adding VSTs, aside from like the internal plugins. If you want me to go deeper into the MPC, aside from all this, yeah, micro granny, yeah, so each of them are set up to different MIDI channels. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat as much as I should. And yeah, it's like it's a workstation indeed. Yeah, it's not a keyboard workstation, but like the new MPC they came out with, basically this, but with double the RAM. Nice one, Akai. Pick you. And yeah, so this is a workstation basically. Yeah, more than a DAW. Yeah. Well, not but digital audio workstation. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a DAW though. But yeah, don't yeah, well, it is dollars. Come on. Don't ruin my fun. MPC gas is strong. Depends what you want it for, because if you want a MIDI sequencer, go with a Scorp Pyramid or that's way more powerful as a sequencer. This is all very locked to. I mentioned that in chat of some time ago, that the beat repeat and whatever, and the count in is always 4. It doesn't matter if you do have time signatures here. I don't even know where the time signatures are. They're somewhere. Yeah, you can change the time signature. I'm sure of that. Don't know where, but you can. That's how 4/4 I know how to. It is some. Oh damn. Anyway, yeah, you can change the time signature. I'm sure of that because I've done it before. But yeah, it's really cool as a MIDI looper. It has a piano roll that you can edit stuff, and it has a little bit of it's got like a probability function, which is fairly new to the newer firmwares and whatever. And you can automate some stuff, but yeah, it's not a full DAW, and it's got limits in terms like if you're gonna go, it's not generative, it's flaws in, and that it's like Linux machine, so it does kind of crash and stuff, so that it is a computer inside. It's not a DAW, but it's definitely a computer sitting in here. The old MPCs had another thing to them, so yeah. Well, a PC is a lot more useful. You can edit video, you can do a ton of stuff. I would say always start with a PC, get a MIDI interface, and then you can plug in via USB or via MIDI any external gear you want and use that. That's the most powerful sequencer you'll ever get. It's just that I was a bit tired down with the mouse and keyboard thing because I work on a computer and I've actually got my work from home setup right behind me. Um, but yeah, and I started with the 1000. I kind of miss it because this is already starting to get into the menu diving touch screen computer territory. But again, it's a lot more powerful. It has, since I'm not really good with what you call it, with music theory and all that. It has scales built in. It's got a lot of cool stuff that the old MPCs didn't have. If you want to use everything it has, you'll probably run out of RAM and processor. It does have internal plugins, synths and stuff, and of course effects and whatnot. But yeah, I use synths and whatever. Like if I've got this thing, because I take it with me sometimes. When I use it standalone without anything else, I'll use the internal synths and whatever as sort of placeholders to get an idea, do melodies, and then I'll plug in the stuff. It's like, okay, I'm making a bass here. I'm going to be using eventually the monologue for it. Why is the monologue not playing? I don't know why it's not playing. Must have done something wrong. Is this is it MIDI channel 1? That's the Oh no, because this is the Zoom. It's the monologue or whatever. Yeah. Let me go back to the So yeah, just reading chat. And in the meantime, check what like this one has a speaker built in, which is pretty cool. But I'd say for most people's needs, it has more outputs. I only use the stereo, but the MPC Live is cheaper, smaller, and does the software is exactly the same. So if you're looking into an MPC, check the inputs and outputs because you might be just as good with with MPC 1 instead of a Live. And yeah, Flip is out on Android now. Android is still buggy. It'll do weird things. It's not as stable as iOS. I'm not a big fan of Apple, not a huge fan of Android either, but yeah. Audio stuff does work better on iOS. You might be better off getting a secondhand iPad or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, the MPC, all this stuff that it outputs to. Um, that's it. Bye. No. Any questions? So yeah. So well, I can show you, for example, right now I've got the. Why? Oh right, because yeah, I have to change this to be the right note. I do have a few things set up here. This is the kick. It should work. It doesn't, but it should. Well, I don't know why it doesn't work now, but it did not too long ago. Anyway, this was set up at some point to control. Oh, maybe because I'm here. I promise you this. See, issues of being live. Yeah, this used to control like some of the parameters on the, like for example the kick decay. I don't know why. I'll have to look into why it. Oh, maybe it's. Oh, it's not because it's. I don't know why, but yeah, this did control quite a few things for the drum machine and a couple of things for the JV and the Volca FM. Thank you. Oh, and I've also got. This down here, for those of you with better ear than me, there's a compressor on this and whatever. This is a little vocal. See, if I take it all off, that's what. Yeah. So yeah, the golden voice. Pitch correct. Let's turn that back on. If I can. Pitch correct. No, harmony. Pitch correct. So yeah, I've got shit like that, which I used on a fest, and yeah, the JV, the anything else? Oh well, I've got. Hold on. There's actually the studio tour part of stuff. I guess. Let's see if I can work this out. That's the old Yamaha mixer I got just in time for the fest. The thingy, the MB33. Um, Brumata. Hello. Um, so hiya heck, hiya everybody. So yeah, I do have, by the way, an iPad. Before I had this, I had a. How did I work that out? Oh yeah, I had an. Is it IK Multimedia that make the iRig stuff? Yeah, I had a what do you call it? Um, a dongle thing gave MIDI output from this. I had a little program that had chords and yeah, chord progressions and whatever, and I used it on the MPC 1000 as sort of an input device. But yeah, of course you could use an iPad as a synth. Of course, yeah. There's plenty of options to use this as a sound generator. Probably not as easy, but as an effects processor, if you plug in a sound card, yeah. iPads are really cool for music. Look at the size of this. This is a mini of 5 generations ago mini. It's stuck on like 4 previous versions of iOS, but yeah. So, oh, look at me just playing around with this. Move another camera to see other stuff. This one won't reach, so back where it was. Yeah, this is basically, so you can see me twist the knobs on the 303. Oh, let's see how I can do this. I'm going to mess up the setup, but whatever. All right. Not the best view, but yeah, I've got a coat hanger thing with some, there used to be, and those 2 little shelves there, built by my great granddad, I think. They've got, pedals and stuff. Want to see specifically the pedals I have here, or? I'm never going to get the angle right again. Okay, let's go for the pedal stuff then. Oh well, I think I'm better off just taking them and showing you. I've got a couple of pedals at the band practice specific stuff, but I'll show you the stuff I have here at home. Um, yes, of course, the Lust, the Magpie pedals, Lust pedal. See that's stuck feeding back. Hello. Yeah, the Lust. Yeah, the Lust. That was loud. So yeah, it's got a series and a parallel mode. Well, I mean, Simon well in his video, but yeah, and it's got a and on the left does it super feeds back. So yeah, the DoD FX59 Thrash Master. Oh, you can't see that right now. It's the pink pedal. That one over there, yeah, which is the one for the 303. The shittiest ever little green Mackies, Ugh, but whatever. It's just a cheap pair of speakers. I usually use headphones, so. Dude from Lost Highway, a friend painted that. Yeah, some just decoration stuff and. Yeah, totally my aerobic vibes. Yeah, Vice City pedals. Let me take off the headphone. Enough, isn't it? Yeah, hold on. A shitty noise gate. I barely use this. I did use it on one of the tests, I think. It was in the middle of something because one of the things was super noisy. And I didn't know what to do with it, so I just slapped this on it. But it takes away tone. It's crap. Rocktron. A pretty cool little guitar amp sim thing. Yeah, the Pocket Amp by Palmer. The iBox and a little foot switch pedal, which well, run of the mill stuff. This bad boy here, the Boss SYB3 bass synthesizer. Pretty cool thing. They came out with a 5. We were talking about this in chat with Mark Ovian, I think. I'm not sure who. Um, yeah, I mean, this will be recorded on the channel, so yeah, so it'll be available later if you miss anything. Rosie Palmer's Pocket Amp, exactly. So they came out with the SYB5 with expression input and more stuff and a vocal thing, but this has a pretty cool, funky auto wah, and the saw on it is amazing. The saw sound. I do have a bass, but if you really want to hear it on bass, I can set that up. Let me know in chat, and I'll do that later. Remind me later if anybody's really excited to hear this. But yeah, it's a synth pedal. I mean, it's a DSP thing. It's not amazing, but it does the thing, and it's I've had a lot of fun with it. Decay, frequency, resonance. This is my first endeavor into synthesis, into filters in this case. So yeah, I learned a bit from this pedal, and saw, square. Yeah, it's got a few settings. I don't even know what company made this. Big Knob. Big Knob pedals, creamy pie. It's a fuzz. It has a mod in it where I don't know what thing is grounded, so it gives it a more lush, creamier tone. It's a modded Big Muff sort of boutique-ish. I don't know. It's a Russian guy that was in the UK, I think. I got the second hand, and it's pretty cool. It's a fuzz pedal. Dr. Q, because, I like it funky, an envelope filter pedal. Not amazing. I mean, it has a bass setting, but I like it more on guitar. Want a bass thing? There's plenty of really cool bass stuff. Oh, here, and you can't see it. One of the probably lesser known ones, the FM4, the filter modulator. The synth doesn't track well on bass, even though they sell it to you like it works on anything. It doesn't track well on bass. It's awesome for guitar, and the filters are amazing. The DL4s and all that. This is a really cool pedal. Stereo in and out, expression pedal input. Really, really cool pedal. Again, if you get it secondhand cheap, you've probably got lots of modern things that do it a lot better. It's got a bunch of modes, filter, synth, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, and it imitates quite a few other pedals. Everything's Velcroed because I had a pedal board phase, and I had a massive coffin pedal board that like nobody could lift, and it was just insane. Before I started with the dollar stuff. I looped. In fact, if you go to youtube.com/grumo music, you go into the playlist and you have jams in Grumo's lab. There's jam number 0. That's me, a beatboxer buddy, and a rapper buddy on my RC looper, which it was pretty fun to do. An unnecessarily large expression pedal by Morley. Yup. Really cool. Also secondhand, of course. How much was this? This was stupid cheap at a pawn shop. An active volume pedal by George Dennis. This was 20 euros. Yep. Brand the sound, the fantastic sound. A slide. Well, you need a slide. Piling everything up so I don't have to be walking to it. Holy Grail pedal. Pretty cool spring and halt. The flurb setting is absolutely, it's a meme at this point. The bottom setting is flurb, which is flanger and reverb, and it sucks, but for the memes. And the hall and spring are pretty cool. Yeah, I used to use this as the send effect, as one of the send effects of the two sends I had on the previous Yamaha mixer, which was on the first couple of fests. Crap, the knobs taken off. Metallic sounding flanger. It's the low key Italian pedal because it is Italian. It's really cool. You can set, how many stages the phaser has, but it's like, the impedance and whatever you plug into that isn't a guitar will distort. It's DeSalvo, which is made by the people who make Pro L cables. So yeah, I found again dirt cheap. I don't know if secondhand or new, but like super cheap. I didn't even know where I bought. Harley Benton Towman brand. This was a gift from a friend. I mean, look at the Arnold Schwarzeneggers there on the classic chorus. Hey, bonjour, see you old. Oop. Okay, showing the people my shit. Can't go wrong with DD. Again, the 5 and the 4 and the 7 are the good ones. I always get the one that's not the most coveted one. I guess that's why I get them cheap. Pretty cool. Has hold, and yeah, it's got warp and reverse. Play pedal. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, we've got some Chinese stuff. Andor digital delay. I Pi sets 2 or 3 fests ago with like just me going into a pedal and going meh, 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 on a jack cable and sending it through effects and whatever. This was one of them. Really cool little, but little analog delay. Not too long. It's just, nice pedal. Just really cheap again. The bots. Thank you. Regardless of the last number, I'm lost there. Anyway, an octave multiplexer by EH Peoples. And last, and least. Well, not least. So I think the phaser is the least useful because of the impedance issues. A chorus pedal, again, one of these rebranded, same brand thing, things like Moore or whatever. Blend knob, awesome for synth bass. The blend knob bit, really cool. Depth, speed, standard. I think it's an analog. Yeah, so this is Nux and UX Effects are the ones who made this technology, made in China. I think that's it for the pedals. I've got the Boss Looper somewhere. I don't know where, but I've got it somewhere. A Boss RC50, you can look it up. Yeah, I've got an RC50. which is a 3-track looper, which is pretty cool. I've been wanting to incorporate it into the setup forever because it does sync via MIDI. I think as a master, it's buggy because it sends a new play command every time it goes around. But as a slave, apparently it works. That way, I can incorporate some bass and maybe some guitar and loop. But I haven't gotten to that yet. Bear with me. And then hold on. Got them all chained up. My portable rig, sampler, the bass, the drum, the 12, and which by the way, oh, have they all run out of batteries? Oh god. And a little Chaos Pad Mini. Like if I'm trying to set up a little case or something to put them in, and shorter cables. And yeah, like a little mini setup. By the way, you know the pocket operators. This guy here, the Chaos Pad 2 Mini Chaos Pad 2S, because it's a sampler version. It records little samples and plays them back. This is really cool. Only mini jack stereo in and out. But yeah. Oh yeah, and these little Game Boys, these are fantastic. I mean, get them. Yeah, I mean they're selling you something without an enclosure and charging you another 30 euros for the bloody silicon cover. But hey, they're really cool. They are cool little gadgets. I think this is where teenage engineering got it right because anybody can afford one of these almost. They're between $60 and $100 depending if you get one of the more of the newer models. But yeah, engineering. Yeah, I got these over again. Wow, look at all that gear. I started the Dallas stuff in too late in 2014. I started buying stuff. And little by little, I've gotten to, it's not like I'm rich and I buy a ton of stuff. The MPC, I was super fortunate. I don't think my mate Matt will listen to this or see this, but yeah, I was fortunate enough for my 40th birthday. But the 1000 worked just as well, and again, you can get an MPC 1000 pretty cheap, but not much cheaper than a one at this stage. You've got the Scorp Pyramid, you've got a bunch of options. Digitacts, a lot of stuff, the Roland MC line. You've got a ton of stuff that can sequence MIDI, and also probably the computer you have at home. You can buy a cheap MIDI interface or a USB to MIDI converter, which is basically the same thing, and start buying by one, seeing if you like it. Again, it's more practical to do everything in the computer. This is just for fun. This is like, some people buy motorcycles or super expensive triathlon bicycles. I do this. And, I'm not spending a ton of money on it. I'm, gradually spending a bit, Oh, the Chaos Pad 3 is just fantastic. And you can make music. You can't make music on a triathlon bike or a Harley Davidson. Exactly. What else? So where was I? Yeah, you've got a ton of options of the thing. Start with a computer, see what sounds you like, what sound you'd like to have externally, and would like to be able to tweak some knobs on. Start with that. Do you want a monophonic bass or lead machine? Do you want something chords and polyphonic? Decide what you want first and buy a little bit of gear. Or do you want keys to play it on, without having to have anything else connected to it? Do you want the little module thing without, like this, for example, have MIDI plugged into it? Yeah. Does the thing you want have MIDI USB? Do you need it? Yeah. Think about your options because, you're going to be gassing on anything you see that's cool. But again, there's a million options. Electron has its flow. So yeah, don't use this. I mean, use it as an example of a generic thing, but don't go insane. Again, this was the mixer was 7 euros with about maybe 10 shipping, 80 euros, which isn't a great deal for this mixer in the state it was in. But yeah, I was kind of in a rush to get something sorted for the festival and be able to plug in as many things as possible. In terms of MIDI, this is both USB and 5-pin MIDI. Yep, there you go. That's a Korg pad control. The encoder's busted, so you have to program it from the software. It has a little XY pad. Pretty solid controller. They haven't gone down in price in like 20 years, and probably with the shortage and the inflation, they're probably more expensive than they ever were. But yeah, this is a really cool thing if you want hands-on finger bashing stuff. Pretty cool, solid thing. I've had it for ages. Well, you can't see it. Yeah, the white balance is helping, but the keys the pads are really yellow. Then you've got the M Audio trigger finger in the same league. You might want to look into that as well. I think that was so yeah. Again, you can buy just a controller for your computer, and you've got a bunch of synths, a ton of free VST synths and effects. So yeah, just if you want to disconnect from the computer and you want collecting gear, sort of a hobby or whatever. Again, I don't go for super coveted things that will be worth more money later. I go for stuff that's cheap in the. I do extensive research on what sort of thing I want. I wanted an analog mono synth, so I looked up what can I get. A monologue, a bass station. In that league, and I just was looked and looked. Found one cheap enough for a good offer, and I'm pointing at the monologue, but you can't see it because all the windows are in the way. Hold on. Yeah, you really still can't see it. Hold on. You've probably all seen a Korg monologue anyway, but yeah, the golden one because I found it gold and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, there's blue and black and red and whatever. But yeah, again, do you need keys? I could controller, but I suck at keys, so I've got a MIDI controller pickup for the guitars, a Fishman triple play, but it doesn't fit on any of the guitars I have. What's recommended to pair with the 707? Oh, a pad controller. Yeah, you did say the pads are super stiff. Yeah, Akai also has the MP D, I think, are the whole line of controllers that have MPC pads on them. So yeah, that's a really good option as well. You've got tiny ones with more knobs and faders. You've even Korg also has the Net, which is just 2 rows, 8 pads, a lot cheaper than the pad control. The Nano series, the Korg Nano series, is really good bang for buck as well. Yeah, let me just show you some more stuff. Let me just get this window out of the way now. Old Casio tone, gift from my partner. And funnily enough, it's like, oh man, you could have had another one, because I already found the. Oh, that's the SA10. I found that one right next to a trash bin, and the battery contacts were rusty, and so that's why they threw it away. And then I got gifted an SA1, which is the same thing, but with 3 instead of and I think a bit more lo-fi. The samples are a bit crappier, but it's basically the same exact thing. But yeah, I got 2 of them. So yeah, 2 Casio tones. Oh, and down. Can you see it from there? No, because the monologue's still in the way. I've got a turntable. Technics 12. Is it the 1210 or the 1200? The silver one. A 1200 Mark II. Again, super steel deal, and I grabbed it. I have a mixer. Eckler, I think made in Spain, funnily enough, or designed in Spain. I'm not sure. I think the Ecklers are Spanish. Again, super cheap. The faders are just crusty. Fix this one. I replaced the crossfader, but the other 4 are so scratchy and crappy. Really good cut EQ. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. A DJ mixer, basically. Right now, since the MPC has phono inputs, I really don't use. I do like cutting out highs, loads, and whatever to sample, filter it pre going into the machine. I sample less because copyright and all that, and but I still sample from vinyl every now and then to make my crusty old school beats. But you won't hear much of that because I keep that to myself. um, yeah, they're not these Moroccan. I can't even play them, but yeah, I've got a set of these. Almost toyish. Hold on, the chat crashed on me. Am I still live? You said no, not live. So, haha, yeah, you did hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, little toy. Let me just see myself again. Another window. Do. Stupid computers. Leave me alone. See, I don't like computers. So yeah, just make sure you can. Oh, let's go back to. I can show you stuff better. Yeah, a really crappy kalimba. But yeah, a fun one to sample. A very out of tune bodhran. Am I pronouncing that right? I can't play this. Yeah, an Irish percussion instrument. Little USB cables and jack to mini jack. You don't need to see that. There it is. There you go. The RC50. I love this thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind a 300 or a 600 or a 505 or a whatever, but still a really solid piece of kit. That frame drum in particular is called a bodhran, B-O. It's an Irish thing, which I bought in Dublin with, oh, by the way, that synth pedal is the first pedal I ever bought. And I bought it in Dublin, Ireland. And that's how old I am. Microcassette dictaphone. Which I'm unable to put back into its fake leather case. Here we go, and three spare microcassettes. This absolute, it's supposed to be the piano box mini. It's supposed to be multi-timbral, but I don't know. I never really got. No. As old as Dublin, almost. A pre MPC live era, a USB to MIDI host thing, so I could plug USB stuff into, convert it to MIDI. I don't know what I used it for right now, but I did. I think it might have been a MIDI keyboard that only had USB output. I'm not even sure right now. The triple play once I get a guitar. So I've got a Telecaster style guitar where the neck pickup, the bridge pickup, so the MIDI pickup won't fit in between. The Epis. Oh, I'm actually going to plug this in so you can see it. Do some promo for our buddy Dismissed. Oh, how do I do this? How do I power this? Let me just get a cable. Bear with me. Boy, I'm tangled in my headphones. Input good. So this is made by Dismissed. Somebody at the fest was using one of these. Kira, right? Kire. Is that how you pronounce it? It's going to work just like this. There you go. So it's an Arduino with a bunch of sensors in it, and it's sensible to light. Let me just... So yeah, it just generates melodies depending on... It's got a vibration sensor. I don't know if it has a position sensor. It's got little beads in it that hit things. So it's got a vibration and a proximity sensor and a light sensor. So depending on how much light it gets and whatever it gets, it goes... I don't know. I can't even explain how it works, but yeah, it's really cool. See, the less light it gets, the less light it gets, the less frequent the sounds are, or they're lower, so they end up getting out of the hearing spectrum. It's really cool. But yeah, that's the piece by Chat Perché, I think is the name, the perching cat, and that's one of Dismissed's many brands, including. And so shout out to Dismissed because I promised him I'd use it on the fest, and I completely forgot. Sorry, dude. The Epis. It's the Dune synth. Analog will love that. Yes, the drip sweater. That's available on Simon's merch, Pirates merch shop. I don't know if it's Teespring or T whatever or something. I think it's Creator Spring now. Yeah, search Simon the Magpie merch on Google and you'll get to the page where you can buy the drip sweatshirt, which is that painting he has on his wall with the magpie place turned into an all over print sweatshirt. By the way, where was I? I've completely lost track. The spice thing, and I was going to show you something else before the spice, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got my good bass, the Warwick, again at the practice place, but again, showing how old I am. My first bass, bought in this case in 2004 because I actually started with guitar. Got a set of flat wounds waiting for it. A 2004 Squire Precision Special. It's a precision, but it has an extra jazz bass pickup in the neck. And I pimped out the knobs because, yeah, rock and roll, I guess. The pole pieces are. This is 17 years old at this point. I've also got a guitar here. Strings are also hella crusty. I have to change them on it. And one of the pickup selector things is a bit busted. It's a Yami, and it's not well. I do like him as a player, but I just really like the guitar. What's the mouse for? The mouse is to uh yeah, those knobs are cooler, aren't they? On the minute log. The mouse is for controlling the. Can you see it? Yeah, for controlling the computer I'm streaming on and whatever. I'll show it to you in a second. The computer. Although it's just a computer, a screen, and a keyboard, and a sound card plugged in. This guitar again, I got super cheap from a friend of mine that used to sold all his gear, grabbed an acoustic guitar, and went to live in a cave where he still lives. And yeah, so I got this for super cheap. This is a Troy Van Leeuwen Yamaha. The what's the model? The SA 503 TVL for Troy Van Leeuwen. And it has three P90s, and I'm really happy with it. It needs a setup though, and a look at the electronics. I'm not a huge fan of the Bigsby though. I guess it's a licensed crappy one. Not really good. I don't. It just it's cool, but it goes out of. Oh, and it's a nightmare to restring. I actually want to put a hardtail on it, or a wraparound, or what's it called, a Tune-o-matic. I'm not even sure, but yeah, I don't. But still, it's a really cool guitar, and it needs to set up and new strings, and like the fret. It's got Grover tuners on it. Wow, I never noticed that. Back in the case. In Europe, right when the Iron Curtain went down, you had a bunch of off topic. You had a bunch of people from Eastern Europe selling all sorts of paraphernalia, including I got this for like that really cheap. An East German military cap. I don't know. Engineer brigade. I think. I don't know. I'm not into military stuff at all. But I don't know. If I have these things. Oops, sorry. I have these things. The desert cap which I wore for one of the fests. Yep, Queens of the Stone Age, A Perfect Circle. Yeah, that's the guy. And yeah, I mean, it's a cave that he's set up. He's got running water and whatever. There's a Granada, in Spain. There's lots of cave houses there. I mean, the guy's a nurse and he works in a hospital. He's not a hermit, but yeah, he kind of dropped the rock and roll and went to like psychedelic folk stuff and only plays acoustic guitar and he's barefoot whenever he can. And really nice dude, you know. The crappiest acoustic guitar ever. I've got a better one. Again, I've got the actual like I've got a few instruments in the practice place. The good bass or the better bass and another guitar that's a bit better set up and whatever. Harley Benton, yeah, Toman brand. Like like you can. It's just you can't if you don't see it up close, you wouldn't know. But I don't know. It still smells like glue. I don't know how many years later. A Western guitar, and I'm not. Okay, that's not terribly bad considering the time it's been since I've played it. Really, really bad acoustic guitar, but again, to bang it and strum on it, for cowboy chords, it's good enough. Oops. I'm hoping I'm still live because yeah, something on my LAN cable, but it looks like it's okay. I'm running like I don't know how long in meters, but like a good 20 meter. I'm running a LAN cable into the studio. No Wi-Fi for me. Thank you. It's another important studio thing for me. I think I'm kind of running out of stuff to show you. Any questions? Do you want me to go more in depth on any of the gadgets? Explain a bit, show the sounds of anything? Looking around. Oh. Tres en uno circuit contact cleaner. Always good to have. That's all piled up with stuff, but and yes, that's one of the. I'll move out of the way now. That's a sewing machine thing. The pedal's jammed, but it does move. Yeah, a sewing machine thing. You know what? Where you with the pedal and the wheel that moves the sewing machine. Yeah, it's an old sewing machine enclosure box. It doesn't have the sewing machine on it. No, the MPC doesn't have a mic. I've got this microphone here, and it's all going to the mixer that's going. No, it does. It has a built-in um, speaker though, which I'm not going to use because it's going to feed back and whatever. The live does, and the live two. The one doesn't, and the X, the massive one with the screen and like the huge one with a lot of knobs, that one doesn't have a built-in speaker either. And no built-in mic, unfortunately. You can always like record something into your phone, plug in the phone, and sample it. So yeah, probably the built-in mic would be just as good. So, um, yeah, the sewing machine thing. Just checking to see if there's any other curiosities you might dig. I've just seen one. A pick puncher. So you get, funnily enough, I have an old supermarket fidelity card. So wait, bam! You just sand off the edges a bit, and you've got picks. Yes, I can sample with this mic. Hold on. Yeah, you can sample anything that goes into the input of the MPC. That's why it's a sampler and not a sampler player. I mean, I'm not even going into the sampling capabilities of this. This is what the MPC was originally made for, as a sampler and a MIDI sequencer. The rest of it is just icing on the cake. It's a really good sampler. Let me just go to where's the menu sampler? Here we go. Arm record. Do. New sample. Record. Do. Keep main menu sample edit. Record. Do. And then you can process it. You can normalize. You can trim. You can do a million things. Let's normalize it, for example. Record. Do. So yeah, it's a really good sample. Then you can slice it up. Chop. Threshold. Yeah. So record. So yeah, it's yeah, and you create a program, and it just puts all the samples on each slice on one pad. It's it's a really cool sampler. If you're not into the sampling features, forget about the MPC. And then I'll just show you so you see it. It's got. Let's just grab an empty track, unused. Let's do a plugin program. Just a hype synth. Like the synths on it are some of them are pretty decent. So yeah. Oh, a cool thing about the MPCs, I think all of them, the Live 2, the 1, they've got 4 pairs of CV stroke gate outputs, which I'm not using right now, but if you, I mean, they're back here. It's got yeah, it's a weird one because it's a stereo mini jack that carries 2 different CV and whatevers. So you, if you want a Euro rack, you'd need mini jack stereo to 2 mini jack monos, and only I think only Hosa make that, and it's like $10, and I'd have to buy 4 of them to get 8 CVs. If not, if you plug in a standard mono mini jack, you'll have 4, so it's okay. Yeah, so it's got CV for your semi-modular and modular needs. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing, which I kind of thought about that, and yeah, I'm looking into modular, but I might do a really tiny little skiff, what's it called? That just to do I want a little sequencer and a trigger to MIDI converter for the drum machine. I'm thinking about a Native Instrument Grid, a clone, because it's not available anymore, but yeah. Yeah, but that'll be in the future. I'm not really focusing on that just yet. Those synth sounds I just played come from the MPC. Where menu program edit. It's got. Let me zoom in a bit. Let me try to play around with the exposure a bit so you see it better. Where is this? Let me just see the properties of the camera. See if I can get you to see the screen a little bit better. My leg is a mouse pad. Where's this? Properties. For video? There we go. That's a bit better. And of course, you've got the reflection from the light. So you've got synths with this filter and amp settings. So, but hype. So yeah, if you want to have a quick look at what it has, if you've got hype, got one called baseline, which is here. Yeah, it has its own plugins, which are also really cool. Some of them are a bit like, nah, they're not serum, but they're still pretty cool. You got, oscillator, filter, envelope, velocity, chorus, whatever, delay, and the compressor and the hype. um, Baseline, you've got electric, which an electric piano one. There you go. Yeah. That's crooked. Come on. Whoa! I'm gonna knock this off the table. The jankiest setup ever. Oh yeah, I've dabbled into VCV. Yeah, yeah. I'm already one of you then. um. So yeah, you've got several. Let me just show you. Main. I mean, again, I'm happy to show you, but you've got people showing these things much better on all the. There's a Mellotron, which is pretty damn cool. Yep, Mellotron. An Odyssey. This is one of the coolest ones. Check that out. Yeah. A Poly Odyssey. Then you've got, what else do we have? A Selena string synth. Oh, yeah, it's kind of a similar sound, isn't it? So yeah, if you want to see the interface, yeah. Solina string ensemble kind of deal. And now Akai are coming out with plugins from the MPC that you have to pay for. I am not paying for your mini mode in Akai. I'm sorry, these gadgets are expensive as they are. And yeah, they've got the new instruments that came on the keys version, the big one with the 61 keys. Those come free with a thing, but you have to pay for them, and they're just romplers. So, Akai, you money grabbing people. Yeah, I'm not in love with Akai. Just like people hate, lots of people hate Apple, but still use Macs because hey, they're pretty good. Kind of the same thing. The program is used in 2 tracks and 2 sequences. Assigning a new plugin will alter both of them. What? Cancel. What the hell? Yeah, why? Oh, new program, just in case. Tube synth. I mean, the interfaces aren't that amazing, but yeah. So yeah, it's also an all-in-one sort of self-contained thing. It's pretty cool. And then you've got that's it in terms of plugins, and then you've got drum synth. Where's the kit? Multi. Here we go. Like I get this drum machine, and then it already comes with a fantastic drum synth. Yeah, and you can on the kick, the snare, hi-hat. You can select what type of thing it is. You can have 4 hi-hat. Yeah, it's got 8 elements. Yeah, it's presets, urban, lost in trap. And then it comes with a decent library of drum sounds and little key group sample based things, Yeah, it comes with a really decent library, actually. Again, very, very genre oriented to mod. Like you've got pop, trap, hip hop, drum and bass. It's really, but still, it's pretty cool. Um, Malaysian BST. Just checking out the chat. And then on top of everything, you can also add. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to sort of give you a list. Where are we? Menu, channel mixer. Let me just go back to the plugin track. don't even know where. Let's just use something more melodic for this. Plugins, hype, yeah, assign. So if I go into the mixer thing, let me just record a really quick simpler sequence. Yeah, just so I can show you a few of the effects quickly. Oh, that's the piano roll, by the way. So it's got four, might be a bit loud, 4 inserts per delay reverb, a bunch of them, dynamics, compressors, a channel strip, a noise gate, you know. It's got a ducker, which is pretty cool, EQs and filters. Then the harmonic section, you've got amp sims, distortion. Am I adding things to the wrong channel? Seems like I might be. Yes, I am. Haha, see? Delete. So let's go. Here we go. Effect. Let's use flavor. That's a cool one. So flavor is a bit of like a vinyl sim with a preamp thingy. So you can do, for example, old gramophone. Some vinyl flutter. And they've come up with another flavor, which is Flavor Pro, which of course costs more money. That's why I'm sticking with the standard flavor and not the Pro flavor. What am I doing? Menu, channel mixer. But yeah, it's got some pretty cool effects in it. Sysex? What's that? Who charges for Sysex? I'm lost there. So we've got the flavor, and let's add, for example, lo-fi. Bit crush this mother. Am I again putting on the wrong track? No, I'm not. And we've just annihilated a perfectly beautiful sound. And let's just for shits and giggles put on. Oh! This is a pretty damn cool one. So yeah, it's got some pretty cool effects. Yeah, but go ahead and rant about Roland all you need. Rant about the stuff you don't like about corporations. So yeah, some effects. Yeah, it's got more standard utility stuff like EQs and filters, and it's got a for the sampler section. You've got lot like per pad and per program. You know, the filters are pretty cool, but yeah, it's just, you know, filters and whatever. It's got the LFOs. Meh, it's got LFOs, but you can assign the LFOs to anything you want. So yeah, it's limited in certain senses where you'd like it to be less limited. Like saying, come on, like look at this stupid computer in a box. I can't assign the LFO to the release of the hi-hats? Come on, man, you know, but you can't. So yeah, it's got its limitations. Again, if you start piling up these plugins and effects and whatever, you're going to start loading up your system resources. Right now I'm on 8% RAM and 8% CPU, but you know, if you start putting things in, you're going to start overloading the machine. Ben Jordan has a really good one of him testing the MPC keys. He just destroys it. He bugs it and he crashes it all the time with his glitches and stuff. Because of course, yeah, it's he starts loading plugins and creating complex melodies and whatever. And yeah, the thing just can't keep up. It sweats like crazy. So basically, my recommendation is use it like an old school MPC and add a little bit of a touch of the plugins and whatever. If you want to use it only with the internal plugins and whatever, you might run into a bit of a barrier, if you want to make massive sounding stuff with a ton of effects. Uh, yeah. I mean, the MPC keys, it's just this with double the RAM. That's the good. I don't know if that's 2 gigs of RAM, this thing. I mean, come on, Akai, or 4, but still, put 8 in it at least, or 16. I mean, even if you charge, it's already a grand or whatever or more. Like, there's a couple of, see, that's one of my grudges with this thing. You could have put more RAM into this. And it's not like the old MPCs. My MPC 1000, which is, I'm pointing, but I like and it's got 128 megs of RAM. It comes with half of that, but it has RAM cards that you can put in. That would be awesome for this. What it does have, which I have put in, is space kernel drive. Although, unless you have massive sample libraries, you're pretty. I don't want to unplug it because I might bug something. But it's got a back here somewhere back right on top of the two little MIDI connectors. It's got a whatchamacallit, an SD card slot. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you plug in a USB drive, it'll also detect it as storage. So yeah, I got it because it's this my old MPC, but with a bunch of functions I missed on the old MPC, and I'm trying to stay away from all this. I mean, I do use the plugins, the basses, and it's got really cool stuff, but I still try to use it the same way I did before, basically with the added bonuses, which I really enjoy, and that way it's a fantastic machine. If you want to squeeze every single function out of it, you'll run into a lot of little things that need fixing in the firmware. It's got Splice integration, Splice, that thing where it's a sample library and you can sync it to the MPC. But yeah, I pay no attention to that. It's got a steps. It's not here. It's got a step sequencer, which kind of sucks. It's cool, but you can punch in. Whoops, it's delay llama. Um, sorry. Oh, where's the steps? Here's the step sequencer. You can punch in steps, but it's not a great step sequencer. You're better off just the piano roll. Yeah, this is one of the big things over the old MPCs is the piano roll. The fact that you can just edit, nudge notes around. You can do it in the where I don't even know where it is because I never used it because it's like list edit. This is a list of all the MIDI commands, right? And it goes on and on. And this is how you had to edit sequences on the MPC before. You said, oh, this one, instead of coming in at bar 3, beat 1, whatever this other subdivision is, tick, whatever, you had to move things over a few ticks, or it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The velocity, aftertouch or whatever, and then it's got probability and ratchet. It does ratcheting now, but it already has. Let me just go back to track 1. Oh no, track 1. Oh, sequence 2. What happened here? Wait. Where did that come from? Weird. I never knew I had a piano sequence there. Up it. Octave. So you've got note repeat. And it's got aftertouch as well. on the note repeat. And then you've got, where is this? Monologue. Let's choose another preset. Notice the program change values. The monologue is hearing them. Let's go for minor. So it's got a pretty cool the note repeat has an arpeggiator mode. Well, right now it's got a pattern. Hold on. And it's got a bunch of different weird ways. It's got a lot of different variations of the thumb up down pinky. I guess it's like you're playing a guitar and like it's strumming. You know, skipping one of out of every notes, converge, diverge, blah blah blah. But then aside from the arpeggiator, it's got rhythms and patterns. The patterns are better for the arpeggiator. Synth bass. Synth bass too. Well, yeah, it's got a bunch of patterns. 80s. Of course, it's got the swing and that you can either record with the swing. You can then also time correct. You can select, which events you want to affect. All the selected ones on the piano roll. You can quantize to bar, quarter, eighth, 16th, triplets or not. You can swing up to 75%, 50. You can shift timing. You can adjust strength so it doesn't quantize all the way. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can tempo, pitch, quantize every track or just the one. You can do different swings on each track. It's yeah. But yeah. At that point, a computer and DAW would make more sense. If you're referring to Ben, probably, yeah, to that video. I mean, again, hold on. A computer and a DAW makes more sense than all this. Like, the amount of cables I've got going everywhere. But yeah, it's just me playing with toys. It's grown-up toys, I guess, But yeah, I don't have any pretensions with it, and I don't like to show off. Again, I think I like to geek out with you. That's the thing. But please, I don't hope I sound like I'm showing off. Again, this is a lot of hard work over quite a years, and yeah, and eventually you end up just accumulating stuff. And again, I'm trying to not gas into everything I want. Right now, I'm at a point where I don't really need anything else. I guess I mean the sounds on the JV are absolute cheese, like 90s rompler cheese, of course. But hey, it's the thing, I do like those sounds. A lot of 90s R&B and hip hop and dance and lots of, call it, electronic music of my youth, and everybody's sort of subconscious memory is made with these JV Roland Romplers or the Korg M1s and whatever. So it's got a lot of really cool sounds, but they are cheesy, And the sampler I've got underneath, hold on, I'll show you. Oh, okay. It might be better to show it here then. The Zoom ST244, yeah. This is the Poor Man's SP1200. It's got a really cool lo-fi setting. It works with, what are they? Not even compact flash, the previous thing. Smart media cards, they're like tiny diskettes. And they sell for like $50 for like an 8 meg, not gig, 8 meg card. So yeah, but yeah, the internal memory is enough to record like a little drum loop or whatever and chop it up. You can trigger it with MIDI. It's got some pretty cool effects, although the effect wheel is a bit messed up. I'm guessing that's easily replaceable by somebody who knows what they're doing. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little machine. It's a lo-fi beast. If it samples in what grades does it sample in? I don't remember. I like hi-fi, mid-fi, and lo-fi sort of. And yeah, if you once you pitch it down and whatever, it's really cool. I got this one. This was a steal, like $40 or something. They go for not a lot though. But since people discovered they do lo-fi stuff really good, they have gone up in price. Just like pretty much anything 90s that samples, they've gone up a lot. Either somebody famous uses it, like it happened with Madlib and the SPs, or somebody's hyped it up. Steinbach hasn't hyped this one up yet, but yeah, this one's been hyped up enough that it's probably not worth what they're asking for right now. Basically, same for I don't know if the JVs went up a lot. This was a good $100. The JV euros, the JV 1010. Yeah, it's the 1010, not the 1080 big rack mount one. I'm not going to pull it out because this one's all plugged in and everything. It's a bit complicated. Google JV 1010. It's a very not sexy little black half rack thing, with, yeah, you do everything via MIDI. Basically, I select the sounds and edit what sort of, yeah, the CC values and whatever. Because the menu, it doesn't really have a menu. It has a screen with 3 digits, and you have to, and a little LED light that's, you know what thing you're selecting. But yeah, not easy to deal with. And all preset sounds, like the samples that are made programs. You can edit quite a few things and change the sound quite a bit, like attacks and decays and chorus and reverb and whatever. But it has the sounds that it has, which you heard on the last fest. I did the last, well, the were from sounds previously selected by people in the chat. So unless somebody has specific questions, please ask. If I have any questions, ask again, because right now I'm Human, nice name by the way. Microfreak, that looks really cool. I've been eyeing out the Microfreak a lot because it has the mutable instruments oscillators and the voice oscillator A, B, C, orange. Just I'd get it just for that. And if nobody has any questions, I'll do a little jam and close this session off. Okie dokie. So if anybody has any prompts, if not, I'll start just jamming. No, repeat off. And it's cool. The microphone picks up me banging on the pads. That's not anything making any sounds. Oh, the drum machine has individual outputs, which I'm only using one of. Yeah, I've only got the kick separately, but I could have kick, snare, claps, tom and conga, and hi-hat. The rest, the cowboy, the clave, would like on the master output. But yeah, it's got individual outs on little mono mini jacks. Again, why? But yeah, little mono mini jacks. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty vanilla, I guess. It is kind of like an 808 clone. It is what it is. Doesn't really do much, but I really like it. Whoops. Hold on a sec. Sorry. Time is it? Okay, I'll do a little jam and I'll get moving. And the noise engineering oscillators. Indeed. Let me just put this back into the thing where it has to be so I can hear myself. I can't go down an octave. Why? Oh yeah, because I have to put it on chromatic. Do 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 do. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to use the note repeat. Funnily enough. 113 seems like a good enough tempo. Let me make sure the metronome's on. Enable on record. Good, thank you. Oh, I know what's going on here. Undo. Did that work? Yeah. Arpeggiator off. Okay, cool. Why? Why is it doing this? Enable the arpeggiator. ARP. Pattern, no pattern, ARP. Well, it'll just have to be like that. I'm not going to start spending time on correcting everything. That's janky. Everything is coming out really janky lately. I didn't start on the one, so if it was, well, whatever. I think the camera is shaking like hell, right? Every time I'm hitting anything. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me find a better preset. I got some that I like. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started the sequence wrong, but whatever. It also does chords. And that's pretty much it, people. Yeah, I hope you found this interesting, that you dug my stuff. And let's just switch the pitch correct on to minor C. Thank you for coming to my show. I hope you like my lab. I hope you like me here and my MPC. Ooh, yeah. I can also do harmonies. Why does this sound so wrong? I guess I can't sing in tune, and this doesn't catch up with what I'm singing. Ooh. Or there's a weird harmony set up, you know what I mean? Ooh. Now I should be more in tune. This is a Digitech Vocalist Live 5. Don't buy a Digitech, get a TC Electronic instead, 'cause it's better. Still a pretty cool pedal. By the way, moms, if you get bump into a Vocalist Live 5 secondhand really cheap, it has a guitar input and it detects the whatever you're playing and has a music IQ, and technically, I'm not sure how that works because I haven't tried it yet, it should detect what you're playing and do the harmonies and the pitch correction if you need it at the same time, you know? And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Ooh. And I think I've run out of ideas today. I don't know what else to show you. I hope you had fun. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah. Ooh. And I gotta go, 'cause I gotta pick up that phone call I didn't answer before. Yeah. Ooh. And in the classic style of the grumo performances, on the Magpie Pirates Fest, I'm just gonna end this without much of advice. I'm just gonna go, bye guys and girls and NBs, everybody. I love you. Peace.